Alexei's seemingly never-ending search for valuable supplies continues. Supplies that could be the difference between life and death. He's ready once again to put his life on the line in the hope for a better life. So Alexei has survived another night. He's undisturbed. He was relatively safe. This is a 2-story apartment block on the edge of town, and it is time for Alexei to fight his way deep into town. There is a medical centre. Hopefully he can find valuable medical supplies. But first things first, he's got to walk back to the right outskirts of town. We've got a welcoming committee. We've got to get to the outskirts of town to retrieve the van, sort out his inventory, and then it's time to head into town. And that is a very, very welcome level up. So this is the name of the town. So a translation would be very, very welcome. Just before we jump in the van, we've got this, what must be a warehouse. But it is worth checking out for weapons maybe. Let's see what's inside. Okay, box of nails. Hopefully Alexei will find the opportunity to use those box of nails. There's a zombie somewhere, but they must be out back. Let's make this quick and move on before we're even noticed. Here's our trusty Gazelle van, absolutely full of loot. Well, it's got a lot of loot when I say that, but it's kind of only halfway full. There is still so much room, so much loot, hopefully, that Alexei can fit in the back of this van. We're going to drive to the outskirts of town, and then we're going to walk in. We don't want to attract too much attention. Okay, this is about as far as Alexei has been. Just at the end of this road, there are some... I thought I heard a zombie. There are some, hopefully, commercial areas that Alexei can check out. Okay, well, after an initial busy start at the end of the previous time out, there were some big groups of zombies. It is really, really quite quiet at the moment. That, of course, has just changed. Alexei spoke too soon. Okay, so we've got 5 or 6 zombies here now. Alexei's should be pretty secure. There shouldn't be too much activity behind. That's where he's been. That's where he's come from. That's where he's cleared of zombies. At least hopefully. Okay, there we are. That was a pretty emphatic way to finish that fight. Well, I must admit the town looks quite a bit bigger on the map than it seems to be in real life, which is kind of weird because it's usually the opposite. But right here is the medical center that Alexei was hoping to come across, and it's just so much closer than he was expecting. This could be a lot easier than he was expecting it to be. So it looks like there are a few zombies inside. So we've heard quite a bit of smashing glass. Probably attracted to the noise of Alexei absolutely slaughtering all the other zombies. Okay, so it looks like these are going to be the last 2 zombies, and hopefully it'll be safe for Alexei to get inside and grab some loot. He's particularly running low on chill pills. So this is why you need to be really careful before you decide to go inside a building. You can see the 2 zombies on the door there, clear as day. And then you look through the window right here. Yeah, you can see the door shaking, but you can't see the zombies at all. They're just out of sight. Okay, these last 2 zombies have finally made their way outside. Again, I'm really, really surprised at the lack of zombies. I mean, ultimately it's a good thing. It makes Alexei's life a lot easier. But we're surrounded by buildings that aren't exactly small, and there is not a great deal of zombies. But let's take advantage of it all we can. Let's get in this medical centre and hopefully get some valuable medical supplies. That's why Alexei's come all this way. Okay, there we go. Immediately, some valuable supplies. Oh yes, this has really been worthwhile. Alexei was down to his last bottle of beta blockers, and he definitely needs them. I mean, the guy's scared of the dark, so sometimes he needs to take a beta blocker just to get to sleep at night. Okay, well, barely anything else available. I mean, this small medical center kind of reflects the fact that this is actually really quite a small town. It's not going to take long to search this whole place at all. So this is the task that is ahead for Alexei. This is where he started, and it was a really relatively short walk down to where we are now. That was his primary target, and it is cleared out and looted. It's not even midday. Just up the road here. It's worth checking out. We want to be prioritizing food above anything else for now. So we've got a couple of kiosks here. It's a little bit dicey. They are enclosed spaces. We do not want to get caught in here. Yeah, absolutely nothing in this one. Not even sure I should bother with the other one. Okay, yeah, absolutely nothing in there. But Alexei felt really exposed being in that tight space. Well, it might be worth just walking back to get the Gazelle van. It doesn't look like there's going to be much of a threat in this town at all. Hopefully Alexei's not spoken too soon. But if we go back to the van, it will enable Alexei to move around town so much quicker. So Alexei's almost back at his van. Is that a zombie in there? There is. But he thought he really needed to find some food. So we're just going to stop off at a couple of houses and hopefully grab a few bits of food. It looks like cabbage might be on the menu once again. Not run into a dead end. There we go. There's that expert proficiency in the short blunt. Oh well, I guess Alexei's eating cabbage this afternoon. And there we go. That is farming leveled up with the first crop yielded, and there's 3 plots here, so yeah, look at that. Absolutely insane amount of cabbages. Alexei's really going to be sick of them at this rate. Well, I don't think we really need to bother looking for any more food for now. Let's get back to the van. We're going to drive to the other side of town, the other edge of town. And there is some garages, some lockups. Hopefully we can find some tools, weapons, anything useful. Okay, so Alexei's reached the garages, the lockups. There are actually some zombies here, and of course there's a few zombies that have been attracted by the van, so there are zombies here after all. Alexei's got a little bit of work to do. Okay, Alexei wants to get some extra practice, some extra experience in his short blade. So we've got a bunch of 5 zombies. We've got a really good condition hunting knife. We've got a couple of levels in short blade, so this shouldn't take too long at all. Okay, we've just got the 1 zombie left. Just kind of hoping for that flashy uppercut, but it's another dead zombie. That's the important thing. So off in the distance, Alexei spotted another policeman. That will mean another police baton, and he's got an AK-47 submachine gun, so that will hopefully mean another magazine. Well, I did not see this at all, but at this rate, Alexei is going to clear out a whole town with barely any effort in less than 1 day. Okay, well here we are. Now that is a long line of garages. What have we got there? Maybe a dozen in one big long line. We could potentially find a generator or 2, some empty gas cans. Who knows what's going to be there? Hopefully no zombies. We're going to open them all up and then come back down, see what we can find. Okay, so let's see what we can find in these garage lockups. Going to be a mixture of tools, and the tools that you can also use as weapons. I'd be surprised if you find anything else more useful than that. What is, in fact I might take that trowel. That's going to come in useful at some point if Alexei ever lives long enough to find a permanent base for himself, a permanent home. 3 or 4 of these are barricaded, blocked, and I'm really not sure if it's going to be worth the effort to get a sledgehammer and open them up. Let's just concentrate on what we can get into and see what we can find. Okay, well, in this very first lockup, we've got essentially what is a Russian version of antique oven, but as Alexei's got 3 generators, he's got to be pretty confident in finding a supply of gas and hopefully be able to properly power a home. I don't think we're going to need it. Okay, so this is the last lockup, and there's been a few interesting bits and pieces. We managed to find some fishing line, a few weapons, some spare tools, but not much. An empty gas can as well, that's in the other bag. We've got another full bag, but we've only just barely filled half of this gazelle. Now, it is early evening, but Alexei woke up at like 4 o'clock this morning, so he's already super tired. Now, there's really not much left for Alexei to explore in this town, so he's already thinking about moving on. But it is a long drive to the next town, so he's going to go back to where he started the day. He knows it's safe there. He's going to do a little bit of reading, get to bed early and hit the road early, and hopefully get to town by midday. Okay, well, Alexei forgot to set his alarm, so he's had quite a lie-in this morning, and it looks like it is another foggy day. That is going to potentially make it much more dangerous for Alexei. But he's going to leave this small town behind. He's looted what he feels he needs, what he feels are useful. It's time to move on to the next town. It is quite a long drive, 3 or 4 hours probably, could be early afternoon. Hopefully the fog will have lifted by then, but it's a much bigger town, and it should prove a much stiffer proposition, much more dangerous for Alexei. Okay, well, we're here. Alexei's at the next town, and he's got here a lot sooner, a lot earlier than he really did anticipate. So again, we're going to stick with what works. We're going to stop on the edge of town, clear the area, make it safe, and slowly fight our way into town and see what there is of interest. Well, Alexei really is right on the edge of town, and this is just a tiny residential area, and already it feels like there are more zombies around. Alexei's got work to do to make this area safe. Okay, well, Alexei's made a little bit of progress into town. All the houses are 1 story, which isn't ideal, but it is quite a small residential area, so hopefully nothing much more than maybe 2 dozen zombies to take out. So Alexei's going to keep slowly working his way right to the edge of this small residential area. Maybe he can find a 2-story home, something a little bit bigger, something that he can make a little bit more safe. Okay, so Alexei's made pretty steady, pretty straightforward, dare I say it, progress to pretty much the edge of this residential area, and there's not been much in the way of zombies at all, just no more than groups of 2s or 3s. But of course, there's always another zombie. Now, just to the north of here, Alexei, I think, has finally found what he's looking for. We've got this 2-story home. That's where Alexei's going to stay as a base. That's where that's where he wants to secure. So let's continue to get to work. Okay, so Alexei probably would have been just fine with a short blade. Well, he's making it look difficult at the moment, but we don't want to take any unnecessary risks as another zombie comes from kind of nowhere. So we're going to go with the police baton. Let's just make it as quick as possible. Like that. There we go. Okay, let's walk back to the van. Let's bring it on up. The noise of the van should bring out any more zombies that are just out of sight. Okay, so Alexei's almost back at his van. There it is. He's getting really quite fond of this gazelle van. He's now eaten about 8 cabbages in 24 hours. So, man, his plumbing is going to be interesting. There could be some nasty smells through the night. Got a couple of zombies to take care of. All 3. Okay, there we go again. The old 1-2, knock him down and then finish them off. And we've got some happy pills as well. Looks like Alexei needs that, so let's just pop a pill straight away. Alexei's really getting dependent on pills. Okay, so here we are. Now, as expected, the noise of the gazelle has attracted a little bit of attention, but that is, Alexei can use that to his advantage. Don't want any nasty surprises. Let's bring the zombies out into the open. Let's bring them to Alexei and finish them off. Okay, so it looks like we've just got 2 or 3 zombies. So let's get some more short blade practice in. Yeah, there's one down. And there's the old flashy finish. Very nice. Okay, so this is going to be Alexei's home base, safe house for the foreseeable future. There's a lot of windows. Not sure I'm liking that. Let's just check it out, make sure it's safe, and then we'll move right on, get deeper into town. Hey, this is another brilliant bonus of this house here. A well in the garden, so that's a limitless supply of water. So Alexei's going to take the opportunity to wipe some of this blood and guts and gore off him. Okay, well, Alexei's probably washed up, but he can see a few zombies just off in the distance. So I think what he's going to do, because this house isn't protected with a high fence all the way around, just going to shout. Just draw out any more zombies that might be in the nearby area to make sure this area is fully secure before Alexei thinks about going to bed at night. Okay, well, in a bit of a surprise, there's 3 zombies. Don't know why they didn't show their faces when Alexei drove down here in the gazelle, but these guys could have quite easily moved in the night and given Alexei quite a nasty surprise. So this was definitely the right option. Okay, I think the area is now clear enough. Let's get in the house and make sure that is safe too. Okay, wow. After all that effort... Ooh, I thought that was an alarm then. But it was just a wolf. There's no alarm. Ooh, now that is a nice little welcome present. Let's just search the rest of the house. Okay, well that is this house fully searched. Not a single sign of a zombie, and this is a good sign. Alexei's taken this as a good sign. Some reassurance. A picture of Jesus on the bedside table. So this is going to be Alexei's fallback position, his safe house, while he conducts the loot runs into town. And speaking of going into town, it is only 6 o'clock, so Alexei's got 2 or 3, maybe 4 hours of daylight. So he's going to push on further into town. He's going to carry on foot. It's not that too far a walk. Let's see what we can find. Okay, well, Alexei hasn't made it far before he's starting to see... Ooh, where on earth did you come? Before he's starting to see a serious uptick in the number of zombies. In fact, where do they all come from sometimes? Just made it to the edge of the residential area, and just up ahead was a really large building, although Alexei couldn't quite see what it is, but there was what he could see was a group of about 8 or 9 zombies. Okay, that's about half of that group taken care of. Let's work our way back, continue pushing on into town. Okay, so we've got another couple of zombies. Again, Alexei, I guess, will make short work of them. Now, I'm just looking at the condition of this police baton, and he's kind of nearly gone through the whole thing, so kind of feels like maybe Alexei hasn't done that much work, but clearly he has, and I guess he's got to that point now that his skills and his experience are so high that putting in the work and taking out several dozen zombies doesn't even faze him anymore. Okay, well, nightfall is starting to come a lot sooner than Alexei was really expecting. Up ahead is that large building that Alexei really wants to investigate. I think it's going to be a school, but there's only one way to find out. Yeah, we've got another policeman. Are they going to have... They're going to have... Yes, another police baton. That is absolutely awesome. No magazine on that one, so we'll leave it. Okay, so in one way this has proven to be really quite straightforward. Just a couple of zombies at a time have come at Alexei, but in another way that has been actually quite difficult because there's a lot of trees, there's a lot of fences, and the zombies have just kept coming, and it's really slowed Alexei's progress down. I mean, he's made some good progress. You can see there are zombie bodies everywhere, but you can see it is late, it is getting dark. Poor Alexei, frightened of the dark, having to walk home all on his own in the dark yet again. But that's going to have to be it for today's episode. Alexei's made some really good inroads into this town, but that is going to have to be it for now. He's got a lot to do in these next few days ahead. I got a feeling things are going to get a lot more difficult, but for now, that is it. Peace.